Humans of the cardboard. We've got some more Yu-Gi-Oh news to be going over today. It looks like we are looking at more Animation Chronicle reveals. It looks like some of this stuff is pretty interesting. Looks like a little bit of more water support, a little bit more of those Earth Warrior support cards. That actually could be really interesting for something like Goki, and some other interesting stuff. We'll get into it. But yeah, let's jump into this. Obviously, Animation Chronicle is all about importing cards from the anime into the actual game. There, we'll look at the set overall so far at the end here. So starting off first, we have Crystal Skull, played by this dude in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in like the first 10 episodes or something. Alright, Crystal Skull, level 1 water rock effect monster. 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the second effect once per turn. If this card is summoned, take 1,000 damage, then change this card to defense position. And during the end phase, if you took no effect damage this turn, you could take one rock monster with 0 attack from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. That's interesting. I mean, theoretically, if you had a way to like, I guess like negate that first effect, but you'd be negating it till the end phase. I guess so. The whole point is like if you can protect it and keep it on the field, it'll get you a free plus later on. But it's too slow in my opinion. But cool. Next up here we have Curse Reflection Doll. This is a quick play spell. You can only use the second effect once per turn. When a monster effect is activated that would inflict damage to you, your opponent takes the damage you would have taken instead. Okay, whatever. And when you take battle damage and this card is in your graveyard, you can set it. So just comes back, just saves you from battle or from card effect damage. Nothing too crazy there. Moving on to the next card, we have Stonehenge, actually an equip spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate this card by targeting one monster with 0 attack in your graveyard. Okay. Special summon it in attack position, and if you do, equip this card to it. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. That's actually really good. We have a couple of these spell cards, kind of like, not Fossil Dig, Living Fossil is one of them. Burial from a Different Dimension, obviously not as good. None of them are as generically good as, of course, what is it? The other Burial card, the one that's banned. Pay 800, revive any monster from grave. But this is pretty good. It is specific to 0 attack monsters, but I'd honestly have to go through and see what 0 attack monsters decks would like be pretty consistent with getting this card as a nice extender. But I'd be curious to see for sure. Next up here we look at... also, this doesn't negate it at all. Living Fossil straight up negates the monster and it gets banished when it leaves the field. This card doesn't negate and there's no banish clause. So, really interesting. Okay, next up we have Dream Shark. This is a level 5 water fish effect monster. 0 attack, 2600 defense, so a big old booty. First and third effects are hard once per turn. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are water, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay. Okay, so looking at this, right out the gate, good stuff. Okay, you know what? We'll talk about it at the end. The first time this card will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. That's like an annoying little like wall. Okay, pretty cool. And the third effect, when a card or effect is activated that would inflict damage to you is activated and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, you take no damage from that card or effect. Also, this card loses 1,000 defense. Also, banish it when it leaves the field. This card's really, really solid. This is just a generically awesome water support card. Now, a couple things that are interesting. The two main water decks that this brings to mind immediately for me are Sharks, of course, because this is a Shark card. And secondly, a Atlantean Mermail, whatever you want to call it. I was thinking of the name I call it deck, which is high quality H2O. But yeah, Atlantean Mermail is another one because this card just jumps on the field as an easy extender and then can potentially come back. What's really interesting with that second effect is it reminds me of Thousand Blades, I think is his name. The heroic challenger monster that says like if you take damage, he revives himself. And you would pair him with Trick Clown, who would pay 1,000 to revive itself, and then you get him back. So, kind of like that. If you have a deck that just has a simple, generic way to burn yourself, like pay life points to do a card effect, this guy would then come back again. Level 5 was interesting, though. Level 4 would have been a lot nicer because specifically for Sharks, they want to turbo out into Bahamut Toad plays a lot of the time, but This still can make that level 5 guy, and because the new Lantern Shark and... Not Lantern Shark, the new Abyss Shark and the other level 5 one that can count as a material for a 4 or a 3 as well, if it's water, they can still make 5s with this guy. So he's still a good extender, but I'd be curious. I think overall this card's actually really sweet, and he's annoying. If you put him on the field just as like a blocker, your opponent either has to waste removal on him, or they have to he's going to block multiple attacks. Pretty sweet. All right, next up here we move to Heroic Call. Normal spell card, you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Special summon a warrior monster from your hand or graveyard. And if it is a non-heroic monster, it cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. Ooh. Wow. That's just a warrior reborn. And it also summons from hand. So it also could be an extender from hand. Wow. That's crazy. It does still negate, though, if you summon from hand. So keep that in mind. But, damn. This card's actually kind of sweet. This is kind of like low-key Goki support types. Any warrior deck, I guess. But Goki specifically, for me, is what's interesting here. Very interesting. Also, second effect, if you have 500 life points or less, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a face-up monster you control. It gains 500 for each heroic card you control, and that is attached to your Xseed monsters as material. Not a big deal. That's cool for pure heroics. They also have their other new supports. This card's nice for them. But to be honest, just kind of a decent little monster reborn for other warrior decks that can also turbo from hand. All right, cool. Next up, we have some insect support. Okay, Bee Troopers. Oily Cicada is the first card here. It's a level 3 wind insect effect monster. 1,000, 1,000 for the stats. Both effects are hard once returned. The first one says if this card is normal or special summoned, you can reduce the level of all insect monsters you currently control by 1. Okay, it does reduce all, and it's... You do have to reduce all if you're going to reduce. So I guess for synchro plays, that could be interesting, but overall, I'm not expecting that to be too big. And if this card's battle position is changed, you can special summon 1 Oily Cicada from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Ooh, that's kind of cool, though. Yeah. So I guess the idea is like if you could have this on the field with the other... What's the Cicada rank 3, where if it negates something, it changes a monster on the field's position. You could like negate something, change this guy, and then summon another Oily Cicada. That's interesting. But not great. I mean, it relies on other stuff changing its battle position. Next up here, we have Dream Cicada. You can only special summon this card. Oh, I'm sorry. Wind Insect Effect Monster, level 3, 300, 1,300. You can only special summon this card with the first effect once per turn. Also, you can only use the second effect once per turn. The first effect reads, if you control an attack position insect monster, special summon this card from the hand. Okay, this card's a solid little extender. And doesn't lock you. Very important. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 monster on the field. Change its battle position. That's also interesting. That could come up in specific instances. Switching something big to defense mode or something, or vice versa, to clear over it a little more easy. That could be a threatening effect. I mean, I think of random decks that play like Dawn Dragster, which is... its stats do vary depending on the amount of counters it has, but you could potentially clear over stuff. Or not counters, it checks its level. So that's interesting. Next up here we move to a rank 2 monster called Ninja Shadow Mosquito. A rank 2 wind insect effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense, 2 or more level 2 monsters. Is this a Splight support? Cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Oh, man. So is this card going to just help Splites facilitate Zeus without having to activate any effects? You can get a 4 material Zeus without activating anything. That's what this is reading to me like. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Yeah, when your opponent's monsters must attack if able. And when a monster declares an attack, you can activate one of these effects. Detach a material from this card, and if you do, place a hallucination counter on a face-up monster your opponent controls. The effects of monsters with hallucination counters are negated, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of 1 monster with a hallucination counter. Okay, so you can burn your opponent, you can force them to attack you, which will negate some of their monsters, and he facilitates Zeus pretty easy as well. So definitely seems like potentially a card to play for Splight as the best Zeus facilitator, because you don't have to activate an effect. These are just continuous. So you just attack something, don't even worry about taking damage. then slap a downward, then slap Zeus. You've got a 4-mat Zeus, so they better have a counter trap or 2 negates for him, or they're in trouble. All right, cool. Next up here we have Ninjutsu Art of Mosquito Marching. Whoa, it's a ninjutsu art. If this actually translates, then this is searchable off of like ninja cards. Okay. First and second effects are hard once per turns each. Special summon up to 2 level 4 or lower insect monsters with the same level from your hand. They have to be the same level and it's from hand. And if you control number 2 Ninja Shadow Mosquito, the guy above, you can banish this card from grave to target face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of insect monsters you control and place a hallucination counter on each of them. The effects of monsters with hallucination counters are negated. Oh, so even this card makes stuff negated. That's interesting. All in all, these guys are not quick effects. They're not interruptions. I think this guy could potentially be a staple in Splight to facilitate Zeus. This guy just seems a little lackluster. Has to have the same level insects in hand, and it's from hand. All right, then we finish up with a couple of the star guys. There's these Earth, like warrior fusion star guys, but some of them end up being generic good extenders. So let's see. This is Todoroki, the Earth Bolt Star. He's a level 6 Earth Warrior, 2100 attack, 0 defense. You can only special summon him with the first effect once per turn. Okay, and the second effect's a hard once per turn as well. You can special summon this card from your hand by sending one other monster from your hand to the graveyard, but it loses 500 attack. I don't really care about the attack. That's a pretty basic, easy to obtain summon condition. For sure. I like that a lot, actually. Okay. And the second effect, during the battle phase, you can pay 500 life points to fusion summon a warrior fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. Okay, so he'd already count as material, which is nice. So like instead of needing a fusion spell and 2 monsters, he's both. He's one of the materials and he is the fusion spell himself. So again, I'd have to go back and look at some of the fusion monsters they have. I think my consensus was they were mostly 2 battle phase reliant and they didn't have like actual good interruptive effects, but still, this could come up potentially. Nice. Still a good extender. Then we have Senko, the Skybolt Star. This guy looks sweet. This is a Light Warrior. Oh, he's a Light Warrior. Okay. Level 7, 2400 attack. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. If an Earth monster is normal summoned or special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from the hand. Let's go. We're chain blocking stuff. As well as Goki. Like I said, Gokis. This guy's a warrior. Normal summon a Goki. Summon this guy. He's actually much bigger, so you can actually play into boards a little bit easier. And he gets you into Isolde. Nice. And he's also a good level. A nice high level to help you do synchro plays, if that's what you want to do with the deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a level 5 or higher warrior you control and one opponent's attack position monster. Your monster loses 1500 attack, and if it does, destroy that opponent's monster. Yo, that's actually pretty good. That helps you play into boards. That helps you just on later turns to just in the grind, just pop a monster. As long as you have like a high level warrior on the field, which you probably will. That's actually pretty sweet. I actually like that a lot. Like actually, that's really cool. This guy's good. I think both these might be potential cards for Goki. And the last card here we have is Raijin, the Break Bolt Star. He's a level 10 Light Warrior Fusion, 3000 attack, 2200 defense. He requires a level 5 or higher Light Warrior plus an Earth Warrior. So the idea would be if you have Senko plus Todoroki, they would make the materials for this guy. He's a little more specific than I would have liked to make him an interesting card for Goki, but let's see what he does. Third effect's a hard one's return. If this card attacks a defense vision monster, do piercing. Okay, he's 3000, that's fine. If this card battles a monster without a level, any battle damage this card inflicts is doubled. So Exceeds and Link monsters, you're inflicting double damage. Fine, and piercing. And during the end phase of this card is in your graveyard because it was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent there this turn. You can target 2 level 7 or lower warrior monsters in your graveyard and special summon them. Okay. Wait, that's actually kind of clean. Wow, okay. So what if you had like a card that was like really good at like, I don't know, I think about something like Torrential Tribute. You know, you make this guy torrential the board when your opponent tries to play, and then this guy just summons 2 Gokis back maybe, and then they just float really easily. That's interesting, for sure. Overall, this one seems like it's going to be a little too hard to make and doesn't offer you enough in return. The first two effects are bonus effects at best. The third effect's the only decent thing there, and it's a float. It doesn't do anything proactively. But both these guys are solid extenders. I would say this insect's interesting for splites. I would say this guy's an interesting little extender for insects. And this card's a nice little reborn for earth monsters, or for warriors. This guy's a nice little extender for water/fish decks. And even this card for decks that might play monsters with 0 attack, this card becomes also very interesting. So honestly, some pretty cool stuff here. Looking at the set here real quick before we get out of here, I think there's a ton of stuff that still hasn't come out yet. I wasn't sure how big the set is. The set's actually 50 cards. So we've got what, like 4, 6, 10, 13 plus, I don't even know, 13 to 3 to plus 14, so 20, 18. So it looks like we have like 29 cards still to come out, I think, if I counted that right, but I'm not even sure that I did. So over half the set we still have coming. Hopefully we see some other cool stuff that's like actual archetype stuff. Like we have G Golds here. Could they do it? Could they actually do Armatos Legio or Storm Riders or one of those other Vrains archetypes that are really cool? I hope there's at least one more cool archetype in here, because I remember last year we got like Sharks and something else that was like, you were like, whoa. We got like the Utopia stuff and the Shark stuff where you were like, that's cool rogue stuff. Hopefully we see more stuff like that in here. But yeah, pretty cool generic stuff here. Let me know in the comment section down below if any of these cards gave you like very specific vibes for a deck you might be, more known for, or maybe you have an idea of like, oh, that could work in this. That'd be cool. Let me know in the comment section below. But I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Keep you updated on all the upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh news, and I'll see you later. Peace.